Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm your Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today we're going to answer some of your phone calls. It's time for another Ask the Pulpit episode. But first, we got to get a cigar going. And today, well, it's Memorial Day as I record this, and so I kind of figured we'd continue the trend of some of our more patriotic cigars. And so today I have the United Cigars Toro. This is the box press version. It's been sitting around in my humidor for a little bit, and I wanted to give this thing a smoke. And so this is the United Cigars Natural Toro. This is a 6x54 box press cigar featuring an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Dominican binder, and filler from the Dominican, consisting of Dominican broadleaf, Dominican Seco, and USA broadleaf. And according to the notes on this, we're supposed to get some wood and grain notes that are prominent with rich baking spice as the lingering flavor profile. So there we go. And it's time to cut the cigar. And the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. I know you can get the United Cigars Toro over at their website. So please go to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. Alrighty. Well, let's get this guy cut and going, and we can get right into the fun. And it's been a good weekend, you know. I went to the race. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the Villiger Report. You know, I'm it's been busy. I'll admit I'm a little tired, but you know, it's one of those things that we got to get the show done. And today has felt like Sunday in the worst way. Like, I have been 100% convinced today is Sunday all day, and I'm doing everything I can to remember, no, it is Monday, and you have things that are due tomorrow, and you have to get to work. And so, yeah, it's been a weird day for remembering what today is. But anyway, why don't we now go ahead and listen to the greatest commercial that you've ever heard while I get the cigar lit.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so, they can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard.
Yeah.
All right, we have our cigar going, and we've got the business out of the way. So let's go ahead and we'll jump right into Lord knows what with you guys.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my winner!
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
That's right. It's time for another Ask the Pulpit episode. And this is where we answer your phone calls, your questions, your comments, your concerns. And you guys get a little bit of a voice and an opportunity to talk and interact. And so today we are going to do that. And so we have a couple of calls lined up here. So why don't we go ahead and get rolling here? Let's do this one first.
What's up, Nick? Dakota. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm good. I hope what you said was good. I'm gonna assume what you said was good. So I'm kind of far behind on. I'm 3 episodes behind right now. I've been quite busy. But I'm listening to one with you and Noah talking, and just there's so many things that y'all talked about that I was like, ooh, I have things to weigh in. Of course, I'm talking to myself while listening to a podcast. But first, I got to say this. The whole thing where you prefer mosquitoes over June bugs, no. Just, no. Come down here to my state park. We're a wetland state park, and I will take you places you will be carried off by mosquitoes. It is ridiculous. Please take them away and give me your June bugs. They could help me for all I care. Just, no, the mosquitoes. Also, when y'all were talking about the Villiger portion with all the movies, man, y'all were only talking about horror movies. I got to tell you, man, I can't watch that shit. I'm a punk ass, but the problem is I'm listening to y'all talk about those movies, and then I got things going on in my head because I seen the previews of some of them. The one y'all couldn't think of was Until Dawn. It was a video game. Man, okay, that's a creepy ass movie, and I'm in the middle of the woods at night by myself, making sure nobody's doing stupid stuff. So, no, I don't watch that stuff. And y'all were talking about it the whole time, and then I was imagining things. It was just fun. But anyway, I don't know why I wanted to tell you that, but I wanted to tell you that. I have nothing to ask or contribute to this show other than this. But, hi, man. Peace.
Well, Dakota, I appreciate the call as always, and I'm sorry that we scared you with our talk of horror movies. I'm not a big horror movie guy. I'm really not. It's kind of odd that we must have been on that topic because I'm not a big horror movie guy. But there's been a few that have come out lately that actually haven't been, horrible. Like I said, Sinners was really good. The Monkey was really good. Neither one of them really involved a cabin in the woods, so you should be okay. Don't think about The Wolfman. That was a bad movie. I did see the new version of The Wolfman that came out. I think that was earlier this year, and that was not very good. But it is relevant to you in the woods, so there's that. What was the other thing you talked about? Mosquitoes. Dude, look, I don't recall exactly what part you're talking about. I don't know if I would have, no matter what I said on that cast, I might have been caught up in the moment. There's no way I would trade June bugs for mosquitoes. There's no way I would get rid of June bugs over mosquitoes. June bugs, as horrible and annoying as they are, thankfully they're only around for a brief period of time and then they go away. Mosquitoes, on the other hand, are just horrible little beasts, and I hate them, and they love me, and I do everything I can to kill them and avoid them. So, I definitely don't want to go anywhere where there's enough mosquitoes to carry me away. That sounds like hell. So, no, I'm not a fan of that idea. But yeah, I'm sorry that that we scared you with our horror movie talk. So anyway, you called back, looks like the next day. So why don't we listen to that one?
Hey, Nick.
What up?
It's Dakota again. I called yesterday, so I'm just assuming that I'm going to be back-to-back again. I'll try not to call for another month or two so that, somebody calls in between. Anyway,
I like
this morning was a little eventful, so my son wanted to bring a snake to his school because it's his last week, and he brings it to his school now and then to show off. So we did it today, and then I get a last-second call to go into work. There's a program with a class of about 40 students and 21 adults that I was going to take care of, but I was told after I set it up you can't do it. You got to close that day. And then they couldn't find somebody that was capable of doing it, so then they called me in, so now I have to do that and close, which I just finished. But when they called me, I was nowhere near my house. So I went in and broke uniform policy and programmed in my Hey Dudes. For those law enforcement that are listening to this, you know what happens when you break uniform policy. I'm pretty sure it's punishable by the death penalty. Anyway, had a crazy morning, so I'm making myself happy with one of these Villiger exports, and I think I am becoming an Ed Sullivan. These Villiger exports, what are they, Corona size? I don't know. I'm tired. It could be called a colonic size for all I know, but I'm going to go with Corona. And they just seem to be the perfect cigar. I mean, I could smoke them while walking the dog, while being outside. It could be 1,000,000 degrees outside, and I get done with it, and I can come back in and not be stuck outside for 2 hours. I mean, it's a perfect little, make me happy cigar after I've done some work and got tired, and I'm like, hey, I want a little thing. So I might be becoming an Ed Sullivan and smoking those little bitty, whatever they're called. So I'm on the lookout for some more. Anyway, I figured I'd regale you with that story. Peace out.
Well, I appreciate that story, and I would say you will find a whole wide world of Coronas for you to enjoy, because they're out there. They're out there. You just got to find them, and the Zeno Nicaragua that comes in the tin. I talked about that, I think, with the episode with Brinker. Fantastic little cigar. Ed Sullivan's the one who turned me on to that. But Ed knows all kinds of great Coronas to recommend. Perdomo makes some that I don't know if they call them Coronas, but they're kind of a little size. And I think those come in a tin as well. But there's all kinds of little cigars that we can get you hooked up with. But I'm telling you, man, like the short little quick ones, sometimes that's all you've got time for, and they work really, really well. And I'm glad that you're finding that and enjoying that. So anyway, moving on to the next caller here. We have this call.
Hey, Nick, this is Jay.
What up, Jay?
I had a question, a little bit of a thinker, maybe answered before on previous episodes or not. But if there was one cigar company or one cigar that would just vanish from the earth right now, you would no longer be able to get, which one would it be and why? I'm on a Perdomo kick right now, especially the 10th, so that's gone. Probably be a little bit upset about it, at least there's other than those lines, but I'd be devastated. Just figure, go out there and see what you have to say. Stay smoky.
So you want to know a cigar line, company or line, that if it vanished from the face of the earth and I wouldn't be able to get it, which would it be and why? So, but then you said Perdomo, so I'm guessing you don't want it to be a line that I don't like, because that's an easy answer. I mean, I could literally start off by saying, like, Gurkha can go away tomorrow and I wouldn't care. Or, I don't know. I mean, there's I don't want to get super negative, so I don't want to go down that road. So I think what you're asking me is a line or cigar company that I enjoy, that if it disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, and why. I think that's what you're asking me. I mean, look, man, I'd be super devastated if Perdomo or Aladino or Villiger or J.C. Newman, Blackbird, obviously some of those are sponsors of the show, but they're sponsors of the show because I really enjoy their cigars. I don't bring on sponsors that I don't like and use and appreciate. I'm not one that's going to promote something that I don't like and enjoy just for the buck. So if someone's a sponsor of the show, it's because I really, really dig them. Yeah, I mean, realistically, if any one of those disappeared, I'd be devastated. So yeah, I'm not quite entirely sure I understand your question there, Jay, because if you're wanting to know a line that if it disappeared tomorrow and why, I mean, realistically, I could shit on Gurkha again, and I could talk about how every experience I've ever had with one was mediocre at best, bad at worst. So, I wouldn't mind one bit if they disappeared. But if I'm supposed to be naming off one that I like, and if it disappeared tomorrow, yeah, I just gave you a list. I will say with Perdomo, I don't smoke as many of the 30th and I haven't had a legacy yet. Mostly just due to availability, but like the Habano Sungrown and the 10th, I mean, I smoke a ton of those lines from them. Aladino, I mean, I celebrate their whole catalog. Villiger, I haven't had a Villiger yet. I don't like. Blackbird, I love that Superb. I like their cigars, but the Superb is head and shoulders above as my favorite thing they put out. JC Newman, I smoke the shit out of JC Newman products. United Cigars, I've been smoking a lot of United Cigars lately too. So yeah, I mean, there's some really good stuff out there that I would be pretty devastated if it disappeared. So I hope that answers your question. If not, call back and clarify, and we can go from there. So anyway, let's move on. We have another call here.
Hey, Nick, it's Hank calling you from the Smoke Poconos Festival, and I just wanted to give a shout-out to the great people at Villiger Cigars and Jonas at Blackbird, and also West Tampa Tobacco.
Another good
great
line.
Weekend here. You guys missed a great weekend. Your supporters were right on par, and also I want you to look for and try the West Tampa Blue Crab cigar. Great one. And again, thank you for turning me on to those great people that support the pulpit, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hank, I'm so glad that you enjoyed your time at the Smoke Poconos, based off what the little transcription here says. Sounds like it was a fun event, especially if those three companies were there and present. And yeah, I mean, and I love hearing that because, when a company jumps on board as a sponsor of the podcast, obviously there is a transaction. There's money involved. I mean, they sponsor the podcast, and then in turn, my goal, my job is to present them to you, the listener, and, hopefully can give you a convincing argument as to why you should try their product. And then from there, it's up to them. If they put out a product that you guys like, my job is just to get you to try it. They have to present the product and give you something that you enjoy. And so I'm always so happy when you guys do try it and you do enjoy it, because then at that point, I've done my job, they've done their job, you guys have done your job, and everybody's happy. You guys get a product you enjoy, they sell products, and I was the middleman that helped make that happen. And so I really, that's the thing. When somebody comes on as an advertiser or sponsor on my show, it's important for me that they see results and that they get what they're looking for. But then also it's important for me, as I just got to saying previously, that it's a product that I like and that I can support and present to you guys and honestly tell you it's really, really good. I've had companies come before me and ask, to do a sponsorship, and I've had to tell them no, because I've tried their product and I'm like, boy, that's just not something that I'm willing to put my name on and support. And, it sucks, but I'll say this. They're not around anymore, So for what it's worth, I was right, you know. But anyway, be that as it may, I'm really glad to hear that you got to see them. And Hank, you're a good dude, and I know that if you're promoting them and everything like that, then you've honestly tried them and you really enjoy them. So I really appreciate the call. Looks like you may have called back a couple days later. So I don't know. Maybe we'll listen now.
Good afternoon, Nick. Hank here.
What up, Hank?
Calling from heavy traffic on the George Washington Bridge, trying to get out of the city before the holiday. So the question to you would be is, a principal in a cigar industry gives you a very special cigar, and do you smoke it now or do you wait on it? So I had this happen this weekend, and I'm a little perplexed of whether to smoke it or not, or wait for a ideal time. And the second question, which you might have to defer to Mr. Jonathan, would be, is that aging cigars. So I brought some cigars back from Nicaragua that I'd like to age in some cedar to see what they do. But do you leave the saran on it, or do you take it off? So do we take the soil off when we age it, or does that not make a difference? Thank you. I appreciate it, and looking forward to PulpitFest in August. Have a great weekend.
That's awesome, Hank. I'm looking forward to seeing you down at PulpitFest as well. And for those of you who haven't gotten your tickets, make sure you head on over to eventbrite.com and grab a ticket that's available. I want to say, last I looked, there's like one VIP ticket left, and then there's general admission, which I don't mean to dismiss that and say like, and then there's general admission. The general admission is a great deal. General admission ticket gets you, it's $35. There's some whatever fees and shit, Eventbrite tax on, but it's around $35, and you get 30 of it back as in-store credit when you come down to the Ash and Ale for the event. So like in reality, the ticket's like $5. And then you get the goodie bag, the attendance bag. Last year we had enough stuff in there that I think we did the value, and it was a value of over $200 worth of stuff. So, you're getting some stuff, and it's a limited deal. There's only so many tickets available. And that's due to space at the shop. But Renee Castaneda from Villiger Cigars is going to be there. Huso Aroa and Trey Mack from Aladino Cigars. It's going to be a great time. I mean, it's going to be a really, really good time. You're not going to want to miss it. If you're in the Florida area, come on, it's Palm Coast. It's not that far from really anywhere in Florida. And then if you're not in the Florida area, come on down. It's Florida, make a vacation out of it. It's half an hour south of St. Augustine. St. Augustine is a gorgeous town. Lots to do. You're going to like it. And it'll be a fun time. You're not going to want to miss it. Anyway, Hank, going back to your question about first of all, if you're gifted a exclusive cigar from a like primary or person of note from a cigar company, do you smoke it? That's a good question, and it's only one that you can actually answer. And I say that because, it'd be one thing if you were standing there and let's say we're talking about Renee from Villiger, just for example purposes. Let's say Renee from Villiger gives you a cigar. And he says, this is an exclusive. I'm giving it to you. Here you go. If you're going to stand there and he's going to fire one up and you're going to fire one up and you're going to talk about it or just you're going to spend time together, that's one thing. I would say the proper etiquette thing to do at that moment is to fire that thing up and smoke it right there. If you're taking it for later, I would say that treat it like any other cigar, like treat it like any other cigar you've got. Maybe don't smoke it in the car. Maybe don't smoke it like when you're not paying attention, riding on the lawnmower or something like that. But, don't be afraid to fire that thing up. Maybe be courteous enough to take some notes about it as you're smoking it, and then maybe craft an email or a message if you don't know their email address. These days you can find it on websites, but, craft an email or a direct message that you can send through whatever social media attention to, and tell them your thoughts on the cigar. Just be like, hey, I smoked that blah 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 that you gave me. These are my thoughts. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. And then that way it shows them that you not only smoked it, but you took some time and effort and really thought about it and really put some care into it, and you took it seriously that they gave you this exclusive cigar. That would be my recommendation. I wouldn't sit on it for years and years and years. I mean, unless it's something that's like, oh, hey, here's a cigar that I got out of Winston Churchill's personal humidor. I'm going to give you one. I mean, at that point, holy shit, what do you, who are you hanging out with that they're giving that kind of stuff out? But if it's just something of theirs that's something of an exclusive or something that they gift to you, then, like I said, treat it with respect. Give it the respect that it deserves in terms of paying attention to it, taking your time with it, taking notes on it. But maybe just maybe smoke it and give them the information and thank them again. I say all that to say this, that I'm still sitting on a cigar that Bobby Newman from JC Newman gifted me at TPE in 2024. Which was it was a anniversary diamond. It was a Diamond Crown, an anniversary cigar celebrating the 125th anniversary of the company. He gifted me one of those, and admittedly, I haven't smoked it yet. And it's not so much because I'm not interested. It's that I haven't taken the time to do exactly what I just told you to do. So maybe take the time, but whatever. The other thing that you brought up, the aging of the cigars, dry aging. I'm sure he will correct me if I am wrong, but I am 99.9% sure that when you dry age the cigars, or when you dry box, age the cigars, I do not believe you want to keep this the wrap, the plastic wrap on the outside of the box. I believe you do want to take the plastic off of the box itself. That way, because that's just preventing everything from getting into the box, to start with. So I would take the outer plastic off. Now, if you're asking about whether or not you take the cello off the cigars themselves, truthfully, that's not a question I know the answer to. So I would have to check with Mr. Jonathan, and I am sure that he inevitably will hear this and reach out to me to tell me how wrong I am, and this and that and whatever. But I would say that take it off of the box, but don't take it off of the cigars. The cigars, they need protection. So anyway, moving on. We got more calls here, and hang on, we gotta figure this out. All right. Well, I think those three are from January, so okay. So we'll play this one.
All right, Nick. Hey, it's Chris from Norman again. How
What
are
up,
you?
Chris? I'm good.
Wanted to give you my version of an unexpected experience and the cigar that I would pair with it.
Oh, boy.
I recently bought an electric motorcycle. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's called a Rivet Anthem. And
a Rivet Anthem.
It's extremely fun. I was at work Saturday, March 1st, and I was heading to my office, going through the parking lot at the college where I work, getting ready for a softball game.
March or May?
Driving to my office, and I decided I needed to turn left to go into this very specific part. And I'm sitting there just tapping the rear brake to feather it to slow down, and I hit a bump.
Uh-oh.
When I hit a bump, I mashed the rear brake pedal and locked the rear tire. It slid out from underneath me to the right, so counterclockwise as you're riding, and I counter-steered into it and let off the brake. Well, because it is an electric motorcycle, there's no clutch. So as soon as I let off the brake, it took off.
Oh, no.
And it launched me. My left foot, hit the curb, shattering my first metatarsal, turning it into cotton candy.
Oh, my God.
Which I have since had surgery on with a pin and 5 screws.
Oh, my God.
And not only bone from my heel, but bone from a cadaver put into my foot. And then when I landed on my shoulder. And at 52 years old, you just don't bounce back the way you did. So when I landed, I tore my supraspinatus and infraspinatus, 2 of the 4 muscles of the rotator cuff, which I had surgery last Tuesday. So yeah, unfortunate, unexpected event.
Oh, shit.
And I'm going to pair it with The Guardrail.
I knew it.
By Christoph.
I knew it.
Because I think that's the cigar that he made because of a motorcycle accident, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, because I was listening to that episode and you were talking about the Gurkha, I'm going to tell you something. You said that you would not spend $1,800 on a Gurkha Churchill.
I would not.
Nick, you wouldn't find me spending $18 on a Gurkha Churchill.
Yes.
I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
I'm not a fan.
Nope.
I have tried them. I've given them a chance.
Yep.
I've tried them more than once. But no, never again. Have a good one.
Chris, before I get into everything, I am so sorry to hear about this accident, man. That's fucking brutal. That's horrible. I'm so glad that, you made it through it as unscathed as you did. That sucks. And, yeah, electric motorcycles. Who knew? That sucks. Along those lines, you seen these bicycles, these electric bikes, not motorcycles, but bicycles. And I contend that those are motorcycles too, because if you stop pedaling, it continues to drive, and it can go up to like 35 miles an hour. And like technically, it's a motorcycle at that point because there is an electric motor that is moving the bicycle forward. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, fight me. But dude, that sucks so bad. Now you are correct. The Guardrail is based off of Glenn Case's motorcycle accident where he smashed into a guardrail and and all that. So I think that's an appropriate pairing for your unfortunate life event there. And as for the Gurkha stuff, I've tried. I really have. I mean, I gave, the Royal Challenge. That was a box that we went through, and the challenge of that was getting through the Royal Challenge. I did smoke the Gurkha Ghost on the show. The Gurkha Ghost is the one that everybody kind of goes to and says, that's their good one. That's the, if you want a good Gurkha, try the Gurkha Ghost. And, that's the one that everybody points to. Solid C. I wouldn't say it was like horrific, but I wouldn't say it was anything that blew my socks off. I mean, it was, in this case, C's get degrees, but like it was a solid C cigar. So if you're telling me, if the cigar that everybody's telling me is like, oh yeah, that's the good one, and it's average, then come on, that's a problem, But I guess that's what happens with with a company that basically is coming out with the marketing first and then finding the cigars to put into the box. But anyway, we'll move on from that. But anyway, Chris, seriously, man, I'm glad to hear that you've made it through relatively unscathed. Hopefully your recovery continues to go well, and maybe lay off the electric bikes. I mean, just a thought. I'm not telling you what you do. If you want to get back on it, then get back on it by all means. But yeah, I probably would take a break from that if I were you. But anyway, as I just popped myself down accidentally. So that appears to be all of your calls and questions and everything else that has come in since the last time we did this. You guys can get in on the fun by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's area code 863-874-0000. This is how it goes. Call in about prior shows. Call in about weird shit happening in your life. Call in about, let me know your unexpected life event and the cigar you would pair with it. Just give me a ring and let's chat for a little while, because these shows are fun and it gives me an opportunity to kind of interact with you. But then also it helps me out a lot, because when time is tight and I don't have a guest and everything, I don't have to scramble to come up with a show topic. I can just hit the phone line, respond to your calls, and we can have fun with that. So anyway, that has been another Ask the Pulpit. Alrighty. Well, why don't we now just go ahead and jump right into this. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. Alrighty. Well, my continued watching of The King of the Hill goes on, and I just watched an episode where a retired Dallas Cowboys football player moved in across the street from Hank and was causing trouble in the alley. So that was the most recent one I watched. But no, let's talk about the 500. So, as I've talked about in previous episodes here lately, I went out to Indiana for the Indianapolis 500. I generally do that. I mean, with the exception of the last 2 years, I generally do that with my uncle and my dad every year. My uncle, he picks me up. We drive out there together, and we go to dinner with my dad and hang out. And then that next day, we get going nice and early. And sure, we woke up at alarm was set for 5:30 in the morning. I got up. I hit snooze maybe once or twice, and then got up and got going. We went and picked up my uncle and had breakfast. Then from there, we started making our way down to the track from breakfast. We got down to the parking lot, and it was actually really, really easy to get to our parking spot this year. Traffic was not really much of an issue, which is kind of weird considering this year was a sellout race. And so there was, 350, close to 400,000 people, at the track. And so, that's a lot of people. And, but I think they kind of all came in at various points during the day. So we got to the car, and we got to the parking lot and made our way, to the track. We made our way through security, got inside. Security was fine. I mean, it's kind of interesting how they've got it down to a science, getting everybody in pretty quickly. And we got in there and, kind of hung out for a little bit and then made our way to the seats. And that's when, kind of the pomp and circumstance started. All that, patriotic stuff that I've told you about in previous episodes here lately. It was all on in full force. Except this year. This year we had a really cool moment where so they were celebrating the Army's 250th birthday. Although I don't really quite know how that works out. I'll have to look and see the math on that, because you know what? Let's do that right now, because that doesn't make sense to me. Because the country, Army birthday, June 14th, was founded in 1775. So 2025 minus 1775. Son of a bitch, it is 250 years old. So, okay. Well, so in honor of the Army's 250th birthday, the Army flew two Black Hawk helicopters along the track along with the cars during the first pace lap. Now, what made it awkward was when Scott McLaughlin drove his car into a wall and then off the track during that first pace lap, and pretty much took himself out of the race during that first pace lap. So, it sucks to be Scott McLaughlin. But we got this really badass view of these helicopters going right past us as they were buzzing along the track with the cars. So that was a lot of fun. But we did all the pre-race stuff, and then the race got started. And boy, Scott McLaughlin's accident in the very beginning kind of signaled how this day was going to go. Because Marco Andretti got in an accident like right away and took himself out of the race. And it kind of just dominoed from there. We were under a yellow flag for quite a bit, to the point that we were 30, something close to 30 laps in. And I remember thinking, it doesn't even feel like this race has officially started yet. It's just been so much caution and this and that and whatever. It was very odd. The race ended up ending under a yellow flag. Pelot won the race under a yellow flag, and he's now won 5 of 6 IndyCar races this year. They've had 6, and he's won 5 of them. So he's kind of crushing it. It was a good race. I think by the end of it, nearly a third of the initial starting lineup of the race was out for accidents and things. So there was a lot going on. Temperature wise, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. It was 64 for the high the whole day. Borderline chilly at times with the wind. I'm sitting there in shorts and a hoodie. And the fact that the fact that I could do that, and the fact that I could do that and not, sweat my ass off this year it was everything. This year, and then there was one other year where the temperatures were similar. That year I did wear jeans because I knew that it was going to be colder. But those 2 years are easily my favorite in terms of weather. So no, we could get weather like this. Oh, God damn it. Well, I just dropped my cigar. Let's see if I can, oh my God, get it. I don't know if I can. I don't even know where the hell it dropped at. Well, shit. Oh, man. Yep, I don't think I'm going to be able to use that cigar anymore. Doop-a-doo. Oh, shit. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. It's down there pretty good, too. Sorry about this, guys. This is live radio. Not really live. I mean, I guess I could stop it and, God damn it. Get out of there. Well, shit. What have I done? Okay. Yeah, this is more awkward than anything. Sorry about this. There we go. All right. Well, damn it. That United Toro is fucked. So, I will not be finishing up the United Toro tonight. It's okay. I guess I'll just live without. But anyway, no, it was a fun time, fun race. We got out of there. Traffic was busy getting out of there. I guess that's what happens is everybody rolls in at different times, but everybody rolls out at the same time. And so it was very busy leaving there. That's okay. And we got on the road, and I don't know. I think I got home. What time did I get home last night? I actually know the answer to that question. About 10:30 my time. So, you know, it was later, but it wasn't like too terribly much later than normal. So, all in all, it was a good night. So, yeah. Otherwise, that's kind of what I've done. I haven't really watched a whole lot other than King of the Hill, and I've been busy, and I haven't really done much. The race kind of was the focal point of the weekend. So that's been my entertainment report. So why don't we now go ahead and do this? It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars can't clip our wings. Boy, I'm really sad that I dropped that damn cigar. That sucks so much. But anyway, so in the 1940s, much of the developing world, especially India, Pakistan, and Mexico, was teetering on the edge of famine. Populations were growing, but crop yields were stagnant. Mass starvation seemed inevitable. Enter Norman Borlaug. Norman Borlaug was an American agronomist and plant pathologist. He spent years working in the harsh conditions of rural Mexico, experimenting with wheat strains that could withstand disease, grow quickly, and thrive in harsh climates. He developed high-yield, disease-resistant wheat varieties, and through timeless teaching and collaboration with local governments, introduced new farming techniques and agricultural infrastructure. His work sparked what became known as the Green Revolution, a dramatic increase in food production that averted famine across Asia and Latin America. In India, wheat production doubled within 5 years. Pakistan became self-sufficient in wheat, and it's estimated that his efforts saved more than 1 billion people from starvation. In 1970, Borlaug received the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in combating world hunger, and despite the honor, he remained humble and continued to work well into his 90s. So be like Norman Borlaug and Blackbird Cigars, and don't let anybody clip your wings. I thought that was a fun little story, I mean, he's putting his knowledge to good use and saving people and producing the wheat that they all need to survive. So let's move on and do this now.
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week. And, boy, I unfortunately cannot list that United cigar because I didn't even hit the halfway point on that damn thing before I dropped it just now. And it's all sorts of cracked and messed up. And I'm just, man, I'm sad about that. So, anyway, the first one that I want to point out is one of my standbys. You guys know it. You guys know I love it. It's the Perdomo Habano Sun-Grown Churchill. I have been smoking those mostly because, it's been so busy this past week that whenever I get super busy, I fall back on my go-tos. I fall back on the ones that I know and I love and the ones that I'm familiar with. And that's one that I know it. I love it. I'm familiar with it. I'm going to it. So the Perdomo Habano Sun-Grown Churchill. The next one, though, is another one that I know and love. I just don't smoke it nearly as frequently, and that's the Herrera Esteli Habano Toro. That's the Herrera Esteli cigar that has the white band on it. Really, really good cigar. Good flavor to it. Again, I don't smoke it as regularly because I don't find it nearly as many places as some of the others. But when I do find it, I always make sure I pick up a couple. Good cigar. The last one I wanted to mention is the Villiger Cuellar Caribe. That's their newer one for that line that has the Habano wrapper. And that one I smoked with my dad the night before the Indy 500. I brought some up there because he'd had the creme and the Black Forest, but he'd never had the Caribe. And so I brought some up there and gave him a couple, and I smoked one, and we sat out in the park or driveway. We sat out in the driveway and smoked one of those after dinner on Saturday night to kind of relax and get ready for the day ahead of us. So it's always nice sharing a cigar and chilling out and everything else. So that was the last one that I smoked and enjoyed this week. So well, I guess it's time to point out the socials. I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. You can get in on the fun there and share what you're smoking, get updates and alerts. That's one of the places where I post a lot of news about this show. If like something's delayed, I post that on there. If something is relevant that you all need to know, like PulpitFest tickets, for example, being on sale at eventbrite.com, you can go over there and get the information on that. Facebook, the Pulpit Parishioners group. I'm on Twitter /X. You can watch the show on Rumble and YouTube, and then you can also watch the show on Spotify if you want to use Spotify video. If you just want to listen to it, it's also on Spotify. But if you want to watch the show, it's on Spotify video. If you want to just listen to it, it's all sorts of places. I mean, damn near any podcast catcher, you're going to be able to find me at this point. Otherwise, that would be the socials. Oh, and again, if you enjoyed this episode, I need calls like I used in this episode. So make sure you call the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. And guys, get those Pulpit Fest tickets. Start moving some of those. I know I have listeners in Florida, and it's going to be a fun weekend. It's not a lot of money outlaid, and let me tell you, you're going to make. There's not many cigar events where you're going to walk out of there going, damn, I got a lot of stuff for my money, and I'm really happy with it. This is going to be one where when you walk out of there, you're going to know that you got way more than your value, out of this event. So, or the value that you got out of it is going to be way more than you paid to go. So get in on the fun. It's a fun time. We're going to have a great time, and, if you missed it last year, this is your opportunity to not catch the FOMO this year. You can get in on the fun. But anyway, make sure you head on over to eventbrite.com and search for PulpitFest 2025. Otherwise, guys, that's all she wrote for me. I don't even really have much of a review of the cigar because, like I said, I kind of lost it. That sucks. I'm really sad about that. Normally that doesn't happen like that, but anyway. Yeah, I'm disappointed. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you taking time to listen, and this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe and stay smoky. Take care, everyone.